Hello YouTubers, my name is Rudy and I am the Alaska Prepper. This video is really intended more towards people that are not prepared or are considering becoming prepared. I think we live in times where everyone should be prepared just as a form of self-preservation. Because the times we're living in, ladies and gentlemen, say that. The time to become prepared is now. Please listen to the rest of this video as I explain to you what being prepared encompasses and why it is a good idea to begin the journey of being prepared and not relying on anyone else to take care of you and your family during times of crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think about it, everyone is a prepper, whether they think so or not. Do you have insurance? Insurance of any kind is a form of preparing for what may happen and not what has already happened. For example, you don't get auto insurance after you get in an accident because it will do you no good after the fact. You get it prior to, just in case you need it. So if you have auto insurance, home insurance, renter's insurance, you are preparing. Being prepared or being a prepper is a form of having that insurance that you can rely on to mitigate those events that can happen in life that are out of your control. It is a way to continue to provide for yourself and to give your family some normalcy during abnormal times. More importantly, it is a way to protect yourself and your family from the threats that can occur and may exist during abnormal times. When a person is unprepared, he or she may become desperate during times of crisis, and it is very likely that they can become dangerous to others as they search for the resources needed in order for them and their families to survive the crisis at hand. Don't be one of those people that is not prepared. Allow this to serve as your forewarning that the time to prepare is now. The word prepper did not exist in the early 20th century because being prepared was a way of life. In the early 1900s and prior, people needed to have the provisions they needed in order to survive a failed harvest. Therefore, they knew that being prepared was a necessity and not a privilege. Unfortunately, the word prepper has been abused by the media and Hollywood, which provided the masses with the notion that if they fell in hard times, that the government would be there to help. This may be true during localized crises, but not a systemic one. Think back to the show Doomsday Preppers. It usually featured 2 or 3 families or individuals that were preppers. If you look back to the ending of each segment within each episode, the narrator always disqualified the reason why they were preparing by negating the possibility of that reason ever manifesting itself. For example, if the person was preparing for an economic collapse, the narrator would end the segment by saying something like this, quote, "Although John Doe is prepping for an economic collapse, the likelihood of an economic collapse occurring is very slim, as the world economic system is very stable," end quote. This is a form of thought shaping, ladies and gentlemen, that intrudes on a person's cognitive ability to think for themselves and plants seeds in their psyche that instills in them the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially when relating to behavioral decisions and their attitude towards subject matters such as prepping. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called cognitive dissonance. Being prepared can reduce fear, anxiety, and losses that can accompany disasters and life events. So why should you be prepared? There are many reasons, but I will go over a few. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, the main reason to prepare is for the end of the world. I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not preparing for the end of the world, and I don't want you to prepare for the end of the world. In all honesty, if I knew that the end of the world was next week, I'd be partying it up with my family from now until then. But seriously, why should we prepare? It could be as easy as an economic downturn where you lose your job, or you have to take a pay cut or demotion in order to save your job. It could be weather events such as hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, earthquakes. It could be a death in the family, especially of the moneymaker in your family. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it can be a pandemic. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, the main reason why you want to prepare is for an alien invasion. And that was another very dry joke because I'm terrible at jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, think about it. If you're not prepared for anything that may happen, it's not for the end of the world. It's not for an alien invasion. You want to prepare in order for you to preserve your sovereignty, meaning that you don't want to rely on anyone else to be able to take care of you and your family and have to bend to their will in order for yourself and your family to survive during a time of crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank those of you that are still here for taking the time to listen, because it tells me that you are seriously considering becoming a prepper, if you are not already. This video will serve as the first episode of a 6-part series that will encompass what I call the 5 B's of prepping. The 5 B's of prepping will cover many of the steps necessary for you to prepare with a concise and common sense approach. And ladies and gentlemen, please don't listen to the fallacy or the notion that you need to be rich, that you need to have money, that you need to be a well-to-do in order to prepare for anything. I have a series of videos that I like to call Payday Preps. One of those videos will be coming out tomorrow. It teaches you how to prepare on the cheap, and it also gives you ideas on what kinds of things you may want to consider preparing. I think that the best thing of that series is that it gives you ideas on what to get. We're all different, and you may not want to prepare like I do, because we all live in different parts of the world, and we are all in different parts of our lives. However, my videos are meant to encourage you to prepare, to stay prepared, and to reach one, teach one, and repeat. Because ladies and gentlemen, if we just reached one person and taught that person, and then continued the cycle over again, then this world would be a better place. Because a world where everyone is prepared for anything is a better place. Because it takes away the fear of you having to fear your neighbor coming and knocking down your door because they are not prepared. If you're not subscribed to this channel and would like to be a part of a great community of like-minded people that like to help each other, share their successes, and more importantly, who pick each other up when one of their brothers or sisters are down, then consider subscribing as well. And we welcome you with open arms. You can be assured that you are welcome here, and it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, because we are all in this together, ladies and gentlemen. And the more of us who are prepared, the better that it will be for everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not prepared, if you're not prepping, what are you waiting for? This is not a commercial. I have nothing to sell you. As a matter of fact, I think that the only thing that I have listed under this description of my videos for sale, for actual sale, is a t-shirt that I made up about 2 years ago at the behest of some of my subscribers. What I really want and what I intend to do with this platform is to encourage you to prepare, to encourage you to not have to rely on anyone else for your sustenance and anything that you may need in order to continue to live a normal lifestyle during times of crises. Just look at what's happened in the last 6 months. Look at the panic buying. Look at the shelves being empty. Look at people getting angry at people that were already prepared because they weren't prepared themselves. Do you want to be one of those people that goes into a store to buy food for your family and finds out when you get in there that there is no food left? Of course, the shelves are starting to get full again. But until when? We don't know. That is what being prepared is for. To make sure that when things happen that are out of your control, you still have control over your own life. And that you don't have to rely on churches, on governments, on any kind of institution to provide for you and your family those things that you need in order to maintain some kind of normalcy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you join us in this endeavor of becoming prepared and staying prepared, because I think that now, in the history of the United States, now is probably the most important time for you to be prepared. Some people may say, well, it would have probably been an important time during the Great Depression. But ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand, during the Great Depression, people were more self-reliant than we are now. They relied less on others for them to have what they needed in order to survive. During the Great Depression, about 90% of the people were farmers and produced their own foods. Today, only about 2 or 3% of the people are farmers, and the majority of people rely on the supermarket to get their food. This is not just a journey about preparedness. This is a journey about becoming self-reliant, about being able to provide for yourselves those things that you need without having to rely on someone else. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today. I truly hope that you are having a great week, and I truly hope to see you on our next videos and thereafter. Remember to be good to each other, ladies and gentlemen. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm the Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.